Breaking news, Steelers fans. Things in Pittsburgh are heating up, and not in a good way. Star defensive leader Cameron Hayward is once again at the center of contract drama. Yes, the same Cameron Hayward who just last offseason signed a 3-year extension is now holding out, demanding yet another raise. And he's not alone. Chris Boswell, one of the most accurate kickers in the league, is also sitting out, frustrated that he's being paid far less than his elite skill set deserves. Before we dive deeper into this breaking story, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. Now, let's get back to the action. Yesterday, top ESPN insider Adam Schefter dropped the bomb. Both Hayward and Boswell are skipping certain camp drills, putting pressure on the front office to finalize new deals. For Boswell, it makes sense. His contract hasn't been updated in years and is set to expire soon. But for Hayward, that's the real shocker. He already got his payday last year, yet here we are just one season later with the same battle brewing all over again. This season, the tension isn't just about performance, it's about the paycheck. Cameron Hayward's current deal doesn't fully guarantee his money, and compared to what other top defensive linemen are earning after this offseason's market reset, his salary looks, well, a little light. He's not happy about it. In fact, he's been quietly skipping full participation in drills all offseason to make his point. According to a report from ESPN's Adam Schefter, Hayward, a 4-time All-Pro, has yet to fully take part in practice this summer as he waits for a restructured contract. Right now, he's set to make $14.75 million this year, with $13.45 million of that already handed over in a roster bonus back in March. But he's pushing for a bump in pay, aiming to match the new high watermark for defensive players set this offseason. Talks between Hayward and the Steelers have stayed behind closed doors. But so far, they're going nowhere. The moment this news broke, Steelers fans lit up social media. And many couldn't help pointing out the irony, remembering how Hayward himself once called out Aaron Rodgers for dragging his feet in free agency, saying, "If you want to be here, be here. If you don't, you don't." Now, those same words are being thrown right back at him. Cameron Hayward has always been the guy preaching about chasing championships, putting the team first, and staying committed. That's why this situation hit Steelers fans like a shockwave. The moment they saw he was holding out, or holding in, the reaction was explosive. Comments flooded social media. Trade him. Cut him. Why sign a 3-year deal last offseason if you're going to stir up drama just 1 year later? Fans couldn't wrap their heads around it. He knew the terms, he signed the contract, and now he's pushing for changes barely a year later. To some, it felt like a betrayal of his own words. Sure, Hayward has been a Steeler his entire career, a cornerstone of the franchise. But this latest contract stance has some labeling him as a bit of a diva. And Steelers Nation, they don't exactly embrace that kind of behavior. Now the narrative has shifted. Social media is buzzing with takes like, "We haven't won anything big with him here anyway, and if he's going to do this every year, what's the point?" The talk is loud, the opinions are split, and right now the Hayward contract saga is dominating the Steelers conversation, especially after the latest developments yesterday and today. From my perspective, Cameron Hayward is still one of the best in the game at his position. Yes, he signed a new deal just last offseason, but the truth is he's outplayed it. When that contract was agreed upon, the Steelers likely didn't expect him to bounce back at such a high level, especially since he was coming off an injury. To get the deal done at the time, he probably accepted less money as a way to prove he could still dominate. And dominate he did. Now, after proving himself once again, he wants to be paid accordingly. Whether fans agree with him or not, Hayward is making his move, just like TJ. What held out earlier this offseason, Hayward appears to be holding in, staying around but limiting his participation until the front office budges. He's also gone silent with the media, refusing all interviews since the report surfaced. But Hayward isn't the only one making headlines. Adam Schefter also revealed at the very same time that All-Pro kicker Chris Boswell is quietly pushing for a new deal as well. Last season, despite being named first-team All-Pro, Boswell was actually the lowest-paid kicker in the AFC North. 3 years ago, he tied Justin Tucker as the highest-paid kicker in the NFL, but the market has shifted and his contract hasn't kept up. In Boswell's case, the argument is clear. His deal is a few years old, it's nearly up, and compared to the competition, he's due for an upgrade. Chris Boswell's situation is a different story altogether. He hasn't signed a new deal in years, yet he's still performing at an elite level, arguably the best at his position. Despite that, his paycheck doesn't reflect it. And at this stage of his career, with age becoming a factor, this could be one of his final big NFL contracts. For a player the Steelers have leaned on so heavily, a guy who's delivered game-winning kicks time and time again, it's not hard to understand why he's pushing for a raise. That's why fans are reacting so differently to his holdout compared to Cameron Hayward's. Boswell rarely makes contract noise, so when he does, it feels justified. Social media is filled with comments like, "Pay Boswell whatever he wants, and he's been clutch for years, don't mess this up." For many, aside from TJ Watt, Boswell has been the most reliable difference maker on the team. So here's where things stand. One fan-favorite veteran Boswell is being urged to get paid at all costs, while another Hayward is facing calls for trades or releases. And all of this drama hits just as the first preseason game is around the corner. Instead of talking about the matchups ahead, Steelers Nation is buzzing about two of its biggest names pushing for new deals. So here we are, just 1 year after signing his last deal, Cameron Hayward isn't fully participating in camp. The big question is, should the Steelers move on like some fans are calling for, or is this just business as usual? Personally, I think as long as he shows up on game day and delivers, I can live with it. The team has the cap space, and Hayward knows it. Still, from a fan's perspective, seeing contract disputes pop up almost every offseason can get frustrating. With Chris Boswell, it's a different conversation. His raise wouldn't be some massive, budget-breaking number. We're talking about roughly $1 million more to match the very top of the kicker market. Last year, guys like Jake Elliott and Harrison Butker earned slightly more, but not by much. For a player who's been one of the most consistent weapons on this roster, and arguably the most reliable Steeler in recent years, that's hardly an unreasonable request. In the end, the kicker market works differently, and Boswell's ask feels modest compared to what Hayward's situation could cost. Whether the front office moves quickly or lets it drag out remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, these contract storylines are going to hang over Pittsburgh until they're resolved. Who's been one of the most consistent weapons on this roster, and arguably the most reliable Steeler in recent years, that's hardly an unreasonable request. In the end, the kicker market works differently, and Boswell's ask feels modest compared to what Hayward's situation could cost. Whether the front office moves quickly or lets it drag out remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, these contract storylines are going to hang over Pittsburgh until they're resolved.